Hello everyone and welcome back to Cop Supply. In this video we're going to be giving you an overview of Scottbot, so let's jump straight into it. To begin with the functionality of the program, you can't actually bring it into full screen, you can't resize the application as well. You have to hit this button to go ahead and resize it. It changes the appearance of the text and how zoomed in it is. So this is the best version at the moment in terms of sizing, so you can see the UI properly. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the bot here. So let's break down a few things. You have the logo in the top left. On all pages you will see this at the bottom, so keep that in mind. And then you have the X button, the button to go ahead and resize like I mentioned, and also the minimize button right there. And then on all pages you will see this at the top. So just to break down what this is the log section. So as you guys can see, it will go ahead and show you the logs. You can do that. You can copy the full log and hide terminal if you wish. This is the import button, so you can go ahead and open up anything that you want. It will open up a file directory, and also it says bot alert, no file selected, so it's letting you know that no file was selected. This is an export button, so if you want to go ahead and export your profile, then you can go ahead and do that as well. And this button is to go ahead and mass link change. It's got to do with your tasks. However, those buttons are always at the top across all pages within the bot. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this button so it pops down again. And this is to go ahead and enter a site name from the list below, lowercase plus the PID. So example box launch /221-299, and you can hit submit once you are done. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is begin at the settings page. On the settings page we have webhooks for Discord and Slack. You can go ahead and put it in there. Once you do that, you can hit the test button. We'll go ahead and test it. Then moving to the right, we have the current version number at the time of recording this video, which is 2.3.14. If I want to go ahead and check if there's a new version, I hit this button. As you guys can see, it says bot alert, checking for an update. If there's one available, download percentage will show. I'll hit continue over there or cancel, it's up to you. Then for your monitor delay in milliseconds, you can go ahead and configure it with the two arrows. You can also type something in. So let's say I were to change this to 1500, then I am good to go. And then you have the request timer in milliseconds as well, and it also says read documentation. So if you want to go ahead and change that, you can as well. And the same thing for your retry delay in milliseconds as well. It is important to note that the numbers that are initially in the retry delay and monitor delay are the default, so if you don't change it, it will stick to that. So if I wasn't to change my retry delay right now, it will stay at 3000 milliseconds, which I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it at. And then you have the save file logs button. So if you wish to go ahead and save your file logs, you hit this, it goes ahead and saves it. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to make sure it is disabled. Then we have the expiration date for our key, so it's July 14th 2020. And then moving to the right here, we have copyright 2020 Scottbot V1 LLC, all rights reserved. And then we have full bot key down screenshot. I've gone ahead and blurred it out, but you can clearly tell there's a bot there. And then we have some buttons below. So we have the open capture solver button. So if I hit this, it says close window, solver #1, no capture available, start a task. So it's prompting me to start a task. If I hit this, it goes ahead and prompts me to log into an account. If I hit this, it will go ahead and go through some captures here. Also, if I hit this, then it will ask me to watch YouTube if I wish. Then we have the import cookies button. This will go ahead and open up a file directly similar to the import and export button at the top. And then the load magical IP changes is essentially a way to go ahead and say load proxies. So if we hit this, it says proxy importer, please add proxies one per line, IP of or user : past formats are supported. You can go ahead and add proxies in here if you wish by hitting the add proxies button. However, I'm not going to do that for this overview. So now we're going to go ahead and move over to this section. So it switches over to the checkout. So this shows you your total checks out, your failed checkout, your success count, and also your total spent within the bot. And this is all calculated through successful checkouts within Scottbot. Then moving over to the profile section, we can go ahead and add a profile here. So we have the delete profiles button. So if you want to delete your profiles once you've actually made some, you can go ahead and do that. And then you can hit the add profile button to go ahead and configure your own profile. So within the profile builder, it looks like this. You have your shipping address section, the billing address section, and also the payment info. I don't want a separate billing info, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. And over here, I can go ahead and configure my profile name. So for the purpose of this overview, it's important to know that I'm going to call this a video test. And then once I've gone ahead and filled out this section, I'm going to go ahead and hit payment info, and then I can go ahead and put in my cardholder name, my number, my expiry, and my CVV. So once I've gone ahead and filled everything out, once again I prompted for not having a different billing info, I can go ahead and hit the create button. And as you guys can see, my profile has been created. It says my profile name is video test, my card number, I can click here to review. So obviously I typed in some random numbers, so those are the numbers there. And then have my shipping, and as you guys can see, billing is exactly the same because we duplicated it over. Then my email is there and my name is there. And we also have the edit button, so I can hit this to go ahead and edit it. But also I have the duplicate button, so if I hit this, it goes ahead and duplicates it. And I can go ahead and delete it by hitting this button. I hit continue, and it goes and deletes the profile. If I want to set a profile as the default profile when it comes to quick task, I can go ahead and hit this. And as you guys can see, it says bot alert, save default quick task profile. profile, and when I go ahead and use quick task, this is the profile that's going to be used. Now moving over to the task list section, which is the home icon, it shows your tasks when they are here. However, I'm going to go ahead and break down the screen, then we're going to go ahead and create some tasks. So on this screen, once again, you have the normal icons that I recapped in the beginning. Then you have the delete all button, which is in association with your tasks, and also the start all button, which is in association with your tasks. You can go ahead and start all your tasks or delete all of them. So for the purpose of this overview, I've gone ahead and singled out an item that I want to go ahead and bought with Scottbot. So it's this item, Supreme Nalgene 32 OZ bottle. Is available in red and black, as you guys can see. I'm going to go ahead and grab the link here and minimize out that tab. Let's go ahead and set up our task. So it says sorry, no task here. You can also hit this button to view the readme. However, we're not going to go ahead and do that. So the first thing to do here in the task curation bar, you can go ahead and choose your site. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Supreme. However, we have a scroll and we can also search in something. So I typed in SUP, so I went to Supreme, and then I can go ahead and put in my link. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and navigate to the mode here. I can go ahead and essentially tell the task to focus on one part. So as you guys can see, I have the link, PID and keywords. If I want the task to use the link, then it will go ahead and listen to the link section. However, you can go ahead and do the same for PID or keywords, but I'm going to say a link because I copied the link. So the link is in there, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore PID and keywords. And then for this section, obviously you can choose an account or guest, but it is common knowledge that there is no account on Supreme, so I'm going to hit guest, and then you can choose your task profile. Let's go ahead and already set it to the only task profile available. However, when you go ahead and create more task profiles, then more of them will pop up in this drop down. And then quantity, you can go ahead and change this. However, I'm going to stick to 1. And then there's actually the big menu option. So if you hit this, there's a lot more stuff that is configurable, and it is easier to see as well. So you have your PID keywords. Also, you can set your time. This is dependent on your local computer time, so keep that in mind. Then your mode, you have the guest obviously, and then our profile, quantity, and number of tasks. I only want 1 in this case. You can use the option to use profile once if you wish to do that. I'm not too bothered about that. And then you can configure a coupon code also, as well as a proxy as well, and you can set your delay. For delay, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 1500, and then once I got ahead and done, I can hit the create task button, and as you guys can see, it goes ahead and creates it. The site is Supreme, the link is there, and it shows the type of task mode, which is link, and it says guest type of checkout, because obviously you can't create accounts on Supreme. It shows your profile, which is video test, and obviously the one that we configured there, and then we have a few options here. So this button is to actually duplicate the task. So as you guys can see, it has been duplicated, and this button is to go ahead and delete the task. So as you guys can see, it gets deleted, and this is the actual start button on the task. Once you go ahead and create your task, the next thing to do is navigate back to the settings part, and you can go ahead and click open capture solver. This pops up. Then go back to the task section, obviously move your bot to a suitable place. I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and then as you guys can see, once you are ready, you can go ahead and hit the start all button or this button to go ahead and start your task, and you can run through the process and the bot will work fine. So that concludes the Scottbot overview at Cop Supply.